So, if you've ever tried to split revenue on any kind of creative project, you know the pain of spreadsheets. Well, today, we're going to look at a visual tool on the Chia blockchain that actually promises to end that nightmare for good. Let's dive in and see how it works.
This quote right here, it just says it all, doesn't it? Stop doing royalty math in spreadsheets. I mean, this is a plea from every single creator who spent hours just wrestling with formulas instead of actually creating. And that one frustration, that's the whole reason we're here today.
Just think about it for a second. An NFT collection, a new album, a video game. The moment you bring on even one collaborator, you've introduced a whole new layer of financial complexity. So let's start by looking at just how messy this can really get.
Yeah, it's way more than just complicated. It's a genuine nightmare. That spreadsheet that was supposed to make everything clear, it ends up becoming this huge source of anxiety and what the source of this explainer calls mental overhead. You're juggling payments for a bunch of different artists, maybe a dev team, a cut for the community treasury, all while you're trying to make sure the percentages actually add up to 100% and calculating all these fees that compound at every single level. It gets so complex, you start to wonder if automating it is even worth the trouble. Now, to solve this, the Chia blockchain actually has a really powerful native tool called Split XCH, and it's designed for these exact kinds of automated distributions. But here's the catch. Just because something is powerful doesn't mean it's easy to use. At its core, the idea is brilliant. You send funds to just one single address, and it automatically splits and fires them off to multiple wallets based on rules you already set up. It's completely trustless, no middleman needed at all. A simple one-to-many split is, straightforward enough. The real problem pops up when one of your recipients is also a split. So for example, that artist allocation has to be divided up again among 5 different artists. This is what's called a nested split, and it's where the complexity just explodes. This is the manual problem in a nutshell. To build this kind of structure, you literally have to work backwards, from the bottom up. You have to create the final child splits first, just so you can get an address to plug into the parent splits, all while you're trying to calculate compounding fees and juggle placeholder addresses. It is just a perfect recipe for errors. And this is where the revolution happens. A free tool called IFTT, which by the way stands for if split then that. It poses a really simple but profound question. What if you could just draw your royalty plan? And the source material uses a perfect analogy for this. It's like the difference between writing raw SQL queries by hand and using a visual database designer. I mean, both get the job done, sure, but the visual tool lets you focus on the logic, not the crazy complicated syntax.
And that's exactly what IFSTT gives you. You drag and drop these little nodes onto a canvas, you connect them, and you assign the percentages. And the tool gives you immediate feedback. If the math works, it's green. If something's off, it turns red. It's really that simple. So how do you actually build one of these visual splits? Well, it all comes down to 2 core components. Okay, so the entire system is built from just 2 types of nodes. Think of it like a tree. The rectangles, those are the branches. They're the split XCH nodes that distribute the funds. And the circles, those are the leaves, the final wallet nodes where the money actually ends up. Branches and leaves, that's the whole system.
Now, here's a key detail. When you connect these nodes, you don't actually use percentages. The tool uses a financial standard called basis points. It sounds kind of technical, I know, but it's really just a way to avoid the tiny rounding errors that percentages can create. It's all about being super precise with people's money.
All you really need to remember is this one simple rule. 10,000 basis points equals 100%. So as you build your split, all the outputs have to add up to exactly 10,000. And the tool is checking this for you constantly, so it's basically impossible to get the math wrong. And this might be the smartest part of the whole design. First, you create a blueprint. You can design your entire super complex tree without any cost, no on-chain commitment. You can perfect the logic. And only when you are 100% happy, you hit finalize. And the tool automatically builds the whole thing for you, on-chain, in the correct bottom-up order. So what's the big picture impact of a tool like this? Well, it means a really complex, multi-party agreement, something that used to require lawyers and spreadsheets, can now live as a single, automated, and completely trustless address on the blockchain. Let's make this a little more tangible with a real-world example.
Imagine an artist collective, and they're launching a new NFT collection together.
So their agreement might look something like this. 93% goes to the artists, but that artist pool is actually another split that then pays out 5 different artists. Then you've got 5% going to a treasury and 2% to a charity. Manually, this is a total headache. With IFSTT, you just draw it. And the potential here is just huge. It's not only for NFT artists. Think about game studios, bands, or really any collaborative team that needs to share revenue automatically, without some central party having to handle all the payouts. And this is a really key point. IFSTT is community infrastructure. It's free. It doesn't take a cut. It's a tool that makes a powerful native feature of Chia accessible to everyone, and that lowers the barrier for ambitious projects and strengthens the entire ecosystem. And that really brings us to the key takeaway here. A tool like this signals a fundamental shift. The days of fighting with spreadsheets to manage these complex creative collaborations, they're officially numbered.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Now that one of the biggest technical barriers to collaboration is pretty much gone, what will you build?